to show you just some little tips for collage making. So let's say you start, a lot of the things that I've seen with my students and collages, they'll start with a white paper. And let's say they want to just make, like a landscape. So I'll just make a simple landscape here. Okay, so there's a simple landscape, and then what I will see is they will go, oh, but I want my sky blue, and how do I do that? How do I fit that in? So I see kids trying to like fit the shape, but it never quite fits, and then there's always these little white spots that are in there, and so they'll try to fit around the shape, but it's really difficult to do that. Now, I'm not saying that doing little pieces of paper is a bad thing. It actually looks cool with collage when you do paper. But what I don't like is when we have these gaps and things aren't lining up nice and neat. So an easier way to do this same idea is instead of starting with white paper, start with the background color and then build on top of that. So it's almost like a painting, like you paint your background color and then you paint on your trees and then you paint on your house, or whatever it is you're doing. So I'm going to start with blue, and I will measure out here how long this needs to be, and I will build it in layers. And just always remember, when you collage, you don't need a ton of glue, you don't need puddles of glue. So there's a nice like thin frame. I'll lay it down. So there's my first layer. Okay, if I want to be fancy, which I do, I'm going to add another layer of grass in the foreground. So let me measure this. And I'm going to turn this into fringe. And I'll put a strip of glue here at the bottom and layer this now on top. And I'll pull some of this fringe up just to make it a little more textury and three-dimensional. So here are two examples of the same idea. This one, building up through layers, starting with my base color and just building on top of the base color. This one, obviously a little more difficult, trying to fit in the colors where I need to fit them in. So I recommend this method. It will save you a lot of time and headaches. Now, the other thing you need to know when doing a collage is how to save paper, because if you run out of paper, you're not going to have any more to work with. So if you get a sheet of paper like this, I'm going to show you what the biggest no-no is. Do not draw whatever shape that you want right in the center of the paper and go to the middle and cut it out like that. That is bad technique. That is wasting paper. So if you want a little triangle shape and you have a piece of paper, what you do instead is you go to the corner and you make your shape on the corner of that paper. That way, when you cut this out, you still have so much more paper that you could use in the future if you need it. Where this piece is just kind of ruined. Now I'm working with very small paper, but I see it a lot with big paper. Don't take a big paper and put the shape right in the center of it. That is just not good technique when we collage. So go to the corner, use up all your corners, so that way we save paper. Okay, so here's just some collage advice.